Welcome to the Global Blockchain Business Council's Markets on Chain, a new series that provides firsthand insights and opinions from leaders and innovators influencing the digital transformation of capital markets. OKX has established itself as one of the world's leading cryptocurrency exchange platforms, offering a comprehensive suite of trading, staking, and decentralized finance tools for digital asset enthusiasts. The platform is known for its advanced trading infrastructure, deep liquidity, and integration with Web3 services, making it a top choice for both beginners as well as professional traders. And with me is Roshan Robert, CEO of OKX U.S. Great to have you here. So let's start with that. How is the expansion going in the U.S.?
It is going brilliantly well. Firstly, thank you, Jane, for having me here on your show. We launched the U.S. market in April of this year. And since then, we've been expanding our products and services, servicing both retail and institutional customers. Over the last 4 to 6 months, we have brought in a unified stablecoin order book. We've got new payment methods, including Google Pay, Apple Pay, and we've slowly started to expand our operations across the U.S.
Now, what can customers do on the OKX exchange?
Right now, what we have is a spot exchange where we have an ever-expanding list of crypto tokens that can be traded on the platform. Over time, of course, as we build the U.S. franchise, I believe we'll have 4 or 5 opportunity sets that we can look at. The spot market is going to expand, as I said, once we establish ourselves, I think we'll turn our sights to the derivatives market. Right. There's also this expanding space of RWAs or real world assets that are coming on chain. And since we are a marketplace, we'd like to see how we can be a marketplace for real world assets as well. And last but not the least, there is a great opportunity in the payment space and in this intersection between stablecoins and payments. So that's an area of focus for us as well.
Yeah, the real world assets, a very interesting part of the whole blockchain system. And of course, OKX known for a centralized exchange, but is expanding into decentralization as well. And this lets users trade tokens with other users. So how does that work exactly?
Yes. So just yesterday, actually, we launched a new product called CDFi. And CDFi essentially is a product that allows our centralized exchange users to get a window to view the decentralized finance world, right? And in a sense, if you look at the DeFi marketplace, we do have 2 parts of our business. One is, of course, our centralized exchange. And the other part of our business is about creating infrastructure that can help people transact in the Web3 world, in the decentralized finance world. And over the last year or so, what we've been seeing is there's increased adoption of the DeFi space. Just if you look just at the OKX infrastructure, we've seen just in 2025 nearly 80 billion in volume flowing through our DeFi infrastructure.
Interesting,
right? And we've seen nearly 4 million daily active wallets in the space. These numbers are numbers that talk about real adoption in this space. Mm-hmm. So as technologists and as premier innovators in the space, I think we also have a responsibility. And one of that responsibility is to make sure that that we include the larger public who want to transact in DeFi, right? And the CDFi product is all about abstracting away the complexities of technology and providing an easy but compliant way in which these users can actually view the DeFi platforms and the DeFi tokens and really trade them.
And what about transparency, security? That is so important. How do you make sure that you are ahead of all of the issues with security out there?
Well, we're talking about transporting value through the internet. So security is of prime importance, right? We cannot compromise on security as well. And I'm proud that we have probably one of the best cybersecurity teams in the industry supporting OKX operations. It is actually one of the core pillars, and I'll talk a little bit more about those core pillars. But the other side of the coin is transparency. Transparency is a key ingredient of trust.
Yeah.
So we are very particular that we are transparent about our fees, we are transparent about the disclosures we have on board, and to ensure that we have the right governance around this technology infrastructure that we've built. We've placed that technology infrastructure on the 5 pillars of finance, so to say. So we've built out a very robust compliance program. We have nearly 500 people manning compliance operations around the world. We've built out a strong risk management program that looks at all applicable risks of the ecosystem as well. And that's a team that has been growing in strength day by day. The third pillar is, of course, cybersecurity. And I believe that this is an area that one needs to be really, really involved in at the senior level as well. So I take special interest in making sure that the governance that we have around cybersecurity is fit and proper. The fourth pillar is it's interesting because, if you look back at the 2008 financial crisis, it was all about protecting client money, right? So my fourth pillar is all about making sure that all client money controls that we have is governed in a proper fashion. And last but not the least is, having a supervisory mechanism around sales practices, which comes back to your point about transparency, right? So transparency is one thing, but then having that governance in place to make sure that that transparency manifests itself is definitely important.
Now, what are your thoughts just on Bitcoin and crypto in general? It just feels like it's been a pivotal year. We've had Crypto Week, mass adoption by, some huge funds, BlackRock and others. What are your thoughts on where we are with this, and what kind of legislation or what needs to happen for mass adoption?
Crypto Week was probably, which was in July, was probably one of the most consequential weeks that we've had in this tumultuous history of Bitcoin and crypto over the last 10, 15 years, right? But why I say that is because it is a point in time when both regulators as well as the general public have realized that this is where the new world of finance is going, right? So the Genius Act, which is focused on stable coins, it is going to sort of really increase the market cap of stable coins, which is right now around 300 billion to north of around $2 trillion in the next few years, right? So you can imagine, that legislation actually supercharges the growth of this ecosystem. And of course, part of that growth is going to sort of really translate into internet capital markets or the capital markets that have developed around crypto as well, right? And that'll also sort of supercharge the way institutions look at crypto. The other point is around institutions, right? So institutions have, over the last few years, tentatively gotten into crypto. It started with, creating this little bridgehead around, getting exposure through ETPs. You had the Bitcoin ETP, the ETH ETP. And then large financial institutions partnered with robust, crypto firms and exchanges. Like we have a partnership with Standard Chartered, where Standard Chartered has a custodial unit through which our clients actually trade on the OKX exchange, depositing collateral within Standard Chartered custody. So these kind of off-exchange settlement that has come through with partnerships, with key partnerships getting created between traditional finance firms and crypto firms, have also supercharged this institutional adoption that we are seeing.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that because I know you came from the financial industry. But before we move on to that, how do you see the U.S. now in terms of blockchain, crypto leadership worldwide? Do you think the U.S. is at the top, or, where would you put the United States?
I think over the last few years, we were floundering a bit, but The last 1 year or so has given me hope that the U.S. will be at the epicenter of this evolution as we see it, right? And it is also important because as the world is moving into this new financial system, right, be it on the DeFi side or on the centralized exchange side, the U.S. needs to take a leadership role here. And I think what the Genius Act also does is, in a sense, it extends the reach of the U.S. dollar, you know, in a very volatile geopolitical environment that we live in today.
Yeah.
I think using stablecoins to extend the reach of the U.S. dollar is also very, very important for the United States.
Interesting. And I've seen like Europe has been looking at the Genius Act as kind of a model to emulate. So now I mentioned, so you came from the financial services industry. How do you see blockchain financial services kind of melding together, working together? What will this look like for, say, the end user at some point in the future?
Well, I think a lot of products are going to sort of really get transported through public blockchains, right? That is the future. The future is where, and we are just at the start of that evolution, right? Today, we have probably around $30 to $40 billion of real world assets going through public blockchains, but that number is going to go up, right? And when that number goes up, I think a lot of traditional finance institutions are going to partner with the robust, crypto exchanges, crypto centric organizations. And that partnership will yield a lot of good results. And that's what I think. DeFi is also an important part of this journey, right? Decentralized finance. We have a lot of products being launched on DeFi today. And the DeFi market cap is also sort of really showing growth. I mean, the annual growth rate of the DeFi ecosystem is around 40 to 50%. And that is also something to keep an eye on.
And finally, you're a member of the Global Blockchain Business Council, which is bringing these interviews to the public. What are the benefits and opportunities of being a member of the council?
The GBBC and organizations like GBBC are so critically important as we continue to sort of build public blockchain finance around the world. GBBC, for example, has nearly 500 members. And it forces us to come together as a group, discuss topics of interest, discuss topics that are otherwise very uncomfortable to discuss, right? And importantly, it also sort of helps us, helps convey our message to regulators and to governments around the world. So critically important to have organizations like the GBBC to sustain and manage the growth of this industry as we go into the next decade of evolution.
Roshan, thank you so much. Wonderful to hear about OKX Exchange.
Thank you, James. Thanks for having me again.